the hill at every position. Today I put the 5 fastest players at every single position in a 40-yard dash against each other to see who's the king at each position. Now some positions might have more than 5 players because of ties. I'm looking at you, tight ends. But how it's gonna work is we're putting all the fastest guys on a wheel to see who starts out as the king, and then we'll spin it again to see who they're gonna face off against in their first matchup. Whoever wins will be the king, and then they'll face off against the next opponent until we have a king at that position. And then at the very end, we're gonna put all the kings of all the positions against each other on one hill and do the same thing to find out who the king of kings is in today's video. And I know there's always gonna be that guy that says, well, actually, CK, if you want to find out the fastest, just look at the speed. No, I can tell you firsthand that the guy with the most speed did not end up the king of the hill in more than a few of these positions. So you also have to worry about acceleration, route running, release. Now how it's going to work is I put everyone at wide receiver for that position on a certain team. So for instance, on the Ravens, we had all the quarterbacks, the 5 fastest. And then we'll go into practice mode and have them run go routes. Then we'll check the replay and see who won. And the guy who reached the 40 the fastest will be the new king. Oh yeah, and also there's no rookies. So I know maybe Jaden Daniels could qualify for this, guys like that, but no, we don't know their actual speed, so we're not going to include that. So at quarterback, we have Lamar Fields, Kyler, Anthony Richardson, and Malik Willis. First up, Kyler at the top. He's taking on Malik Willis. And here we go, man. Our first 40-yard dash race of the video. Kyler Murray ends up winning. Next up, he's gonna take on Justin Fields. This one a little bit closer, but still Kyler ends up getting a W. Now he has to take on a little bit tougher of competition. Okay, Lamar Jackson, the fastest quarterback, ends up getting it done. So here we go for the king of the quarterback hill. This is it. Lamar versus Anthony Richardson. Lamar wins this one with ease, and he becomes the king of the quarterbacks. Next up, we have the running backs. Devon Achane, Mostert, Keaton, Gibbs, Walker III, Kene Wangu, and Jonathan Taylor. Taylor is actually going to be the first king of the running back hill. He's taking on Kene in the first matchup, and JT looking pretty good to start off, man. He's going to get the first W. Next up, taking on Raheem Mostert, the speedster, and he takes care of him even though he's wearing his jersey, man. Now he's going to take on Kenneth Walker III and beat him as well. Next up, Jahmyr Gibbs. Now this was the closest one so far, but it ended up being so close we had to call it a tie, and the tiebreaker is going to go to the king. So that means JT remains at the top. Now he's taking on Devon Achane, and he knew the rules, so he had to beat him with ease. Devon, the new king. Only one running back can defeat him. That's Keaton Mitchell. And here we go for the spot at the top of the running back hill. This is to be crowned the king. It's Devon Achane against Keaton Mitchell, and this might be an upset. Keaton has 94 speed, Devon has 96. And Mitchell ends up winning. Yes, I told you it's not all about just speed. You have to add other variables. And Keaton ends up the true king of the running back hill. Moving on to the fullbacks. This might be the funniest position of the video, man. You have Andrew Beck, Kareem Blasingame, Colin Gillespie, Hunter Lipke, and Reggie Gilliam, the 5 fastest. And first up at the top of the hill is going to be Colin Gillespie. His first opponent is Reggie Gilliam, and you're going to see, I don't know what it was with the fullbacks, but they're playing like hot potato with the crown. They didn't want it. Reggie Gilliam gets the dub, so he's going to take on Kareem Blasingame in the next matchup. He's going to end up losing. So that means the new king. And only matchup number 2 is Kareem Blasingame. Now he's going to take on Andrew Beck, and he's going to lose. So now Andrew Beck is at the top of the hill with only one fullback that can defeat him and take his crown. That is Hunter Lipke from the Dallas Cowboys. Here we are in the finals, looking to crown a king for the fullback hill. Andrew Beck off to a good start. He only has 1 win under his belt, and it's going to remain just 1 win, man. Every single fullback lost except for Hunter Lipke. He ends up being crowned the king of the fullback hill. Here we go with the wide receivers. We have Tyreek Hill, Jameson Williams, Jalen Waddle, Quez Watkins, and Hollywood Brown. 5 of the fastest guys, not just at their position, but in the entire league. Jalen Waddle starts out at the top of the hill. He's going to take on Quez Watkins, the new Pittsburgh Steeler, and Mr. Waddle makes it look pretty easy. Okay, so now he's going to take on Jameson Williams, the young guy, and we're in Detroit, so the Detroit Lion ends up winning. beating Jalen Waddle. Now he's gonna take on Hollywood Brown. He's gonna try to continue his winning streak, but he ends up losing. Hollywood Brown just a step in front of him. So he's the new king, but how long will it last? Knowing that Tyreek Hill is the last guy he has to go up against to defend his crown. And let's just say Tyreek smoked him. Okay, it was not even close. Hollywood Brown goes home. Tyreek is the king of the wide receiver hill. We're headed to the tight ends, and you can see there's so many names. Okay, we have Pitts, Kittle, Chig, Alberto, Elijah Higgins, Jonnu Smith, Taysom Hill, Luke Musgrave, Noah Fant, and Evan Ingram. Kyle Pitts is going to start at the top, man. 5 of those tight ends that I named were tied, and then the other guys were at the top. But Kyle Pitts gets off to a really good start, man. Starts off with a W against George Kittle. Next up, he has to take on Okonkwo. He takes care of him, but he has to go up against Albert O next, and this is where his run is gonna stop. The crown is taken from Kyle, and it now resides on Albert O's head. He's gonna have to defend it against Elijah Higgins first. Then, after beating him, he's gonna defend it against Jonnu. Makes it look easy. 3rd win in a row comes against Taysom Hill. I thought it was gonna be closer than this, but Taysom is like a step or 2 behind. So Albert O cleaning out the tight ends. He's gonna take on Luke Musgrave next. And that one was actually pretty close, but he still gets the W. Only 2 tight ends left that can take his crown. Noah Fant being one of them. Albert O takes care of him as well, but this is probably the closest we've seen him in a battle so far. Noah Fant right there, but we had to give the W to Albert O. So here we go. Is Albert O going to remain on the top, or will Evan Ingram be able to take the crown from him? We had to go to the replay, slow it down, and Albert O is going to be crowned the king of the tight end hill. He took care of like 6 or 7 tight ends. He earned his spot at the top. And then the last position on offense, the offensive line. We had Tristan Wirfs, Teron Armstead, Sam Cosmi, Brian O'Neill, and Lane Johnson, the 5 fastest O-linemen in the league. First up at the top, we have Brian O'Neill. He's gonna wear the crown first out of all these offensive linemen, going up against Tristan Wirfs in his first matchup. And as you can see, man, even though Wirfs and O'Neill had the same speed, Wirfs was just a step in front of him. So he's gonna get the W, and now he's the new king of the offensive lineman hill. He has to defend his crown against Sam Cosmi, and he's gonna give that crown right up. After just one matchup, Sam Cosmi gets the W, and now he's gonna have to defend it against one of the best, if not the best, right tackles in the league, Lane Johnson. And Lane says, stay in your lane. To Sam Cosmi, man, it was such a close decision, but I think Lane had just a slight edge, okay? So I gave him the W, and now there's only one lineman that can take the crown from him. It's Teron Armstead. 2 veterans going at it. The Dolphins tackle against the Eagles tackle for the battle that will determine the winner of the offensive lineman king of the hill. Lane Johnson just a little bit ahead of him, so he's gonna get the W, and the Eagles lineman will win the title of the offensive lineman king of the hill. From one side of the trenches to the other, now we have the defensive lineman: Parsons, Robert Beal, Montez Sweat, Sam Williams, and a D tackle, okay, Ade is what I call him, but Sam Williams is going to start at the top. He's going up against the D tackle. I'm going to show you his full name right here. Adetomiwa. I don't want to try to pronounce it, but could you believe an 89 speed D tackle was in the game? And I was shocked when I saw that, and yeah, he actually shocked me when he raced Sam Williams and got the W. The D tackle is right now holding the crown for the defensive lineman hill. But how long will it last when you're going up against Micah Parsons in your first matchup? The answer is not very long, okay? Micah, the new crown holder for the defensive lineman hill. And as you can see, he's going up against Montez Sweat up next. And you would think this would be no sweat for Micah, one of the fastest D linemen in the league. But Montez is a little bit in front of him. And would you look at that? Micah gives it up. After just one matchup, Montez Sweat is holding the crown with only one D lineman to beat, Robert Beal Jr. Is this another case of the hot potato, well, you're just gonna have to see for yourself. Montez Sweat trying to make sure he holds on to the crown, but Robert Beal is not gonna let that happen. He's already past the 40. Sweat is not there just yet. So our official winner of the defensive lineman hill is Robert Beal Jr. He gets the W. And now we're moving on to the linebackers. We have 6, Owen Popo, Isaiah Simmons, Marquise Bell, Nolan Smith, Kyron, and Amari Barno. Man, first up is gonna be Marquise Bell. He's gonna start off as the holder of the crown for the linebacker wheel, and his first matchup is Owen Popo, and Owen makes it look pretty easy. Okay, actually, no, it was pretty close, but still, he got the dub comfortably, and he's the new crown holder, man. The Arizona Cardinal feeling at home, but he has to take on a guy who used to be on the Cardinals, Isaiah Simmons, and he felt right at home in Arizona in those uniforms. He gets the W, so the crown continues to change heads. Isaiah holds on to it for now, but he has to defend it against Amari Barno. All of these guys are extremely fast. Isaiah ekes out a W. Remember, when it's close, when it's a tie, we gotta go to the king. Okay, if you want to get the crown, you gotta beat him definitively. Kyron Johnson up next. Isaiah Simmons makes quick work of him, so there's only one linebacker left that can take the crown from Isaiah Simmons, and that is Nolan Smith Jr. Once again, going to the replay for this one. They're neck and neck until the end, but it's a photo finish, and from both sides we can see that Isaiah is just a finger or two in front of Nolan Smith, so he defends his crown, and he's gonna end up on the top of the linebacker hill. Now we're headed to the cornerback wheel. We have Reek Woolen, DJ Turner, Jacorian Bennett, Kalon Barnes, and Javelin Gaidry. First up at the top is going to be Jacorian, but he has some formidable opponents, man. He's going to start off with the guy that has the most speed at the cornerback position, Reek Woolen, 98 speed, tied for the second fastest in the entire league. And yeah, you can see it in the replay, man. A yard or two in front of Jacorian. He says, "Give me that crown." And now he's at the top of the hill for the cornerbacks. Will any of them be able to take from him? There's only one way to find out. First up, Kalon Barnes. Nope. Not gonna be able to do it. Next up, Javelin Gaidry. I remember this guy a few matches ago. He had so much speed, one of the fastest, but not fast enough. Reek Woolen protects his crown, sits at the top of the hill with only one CB to beat, DJ Turner. Will he make it happen? Will Turner show that he's a burner? We had to go to the replay once again, man. At least they're keeping it close. Reek Woolen in a very close race, but you can see his foot is already at the line, and DJ's not quite there yet. So Reek Woolen, the king of the cornerback hill. Sticking in the secondary, looking at the safeties, JT Woods, Daxton Hill, Brandon Echols, Jarek Bernard Converse, and Nazeeh Johnson. First up at the top, we have JT Woods. He's gonna have to protect his crown against Jarek Bernard Converse, man. If you're talking about speed and you have a guy that has Converse in his last name, I mean, what do you think is gonna happen? All right, well, actually, he ended up losing. Okay, Jarek is going home, and we have JT moving on. He's gonna face off against Brandon Echols, who I believe is a New York Jets, so he felt right at home in this race. He ends up getting the W, taking a crown, and now he's at the top of the hill with only 2 safeties to protect it against. Next up, Nazeeh Johnson from the Chiefs. Yes, very fast guy, and would you look at that? Look at how close it is. We had to go from both sides, but we determined that Daxton Hill would have to try to beat Brandon Echols. The king remains at the top. Echols holds on to his crown, but he has to beat Daxton to stay there, and let's just say he was not able to do it. Daxton Hill just slightly ahead of him, and he's gonna get crowned the king of the safety hill. And you already know we could not forget special teams. The kickers, Kaimi Fairbairn, Cade York, Riley Patterson, Eddy Pinheiro, and Jake Elliott. The 5 fastest, we have Riley Patterson starting off at the top of the kicker hill. His first opponent's gonna be Kaimi Fairbairn, who has +2 speed on these other guys. Okay, he's 79 speed, and everyone else is 77 speed. So heading into this, he should be the favorite, and you know what? He started off on the right foot, got the W, and took the crown. Now he has to defend it against Eddy Pinheiro. Now, these guys, they definitely made him work for it, but Fairbairn was just a step ahead. Okay, he got the W there. Now he's gonna take on the Philadelphia Eagle, Jake Elliott, and Elliott is not gonna be that close, unfortunately. So Fairbairn only has one guy to beat, and it's Cade York. Can he hold on to his crown? Get the W. Yes, but it was close, okay? Barely gets the W. He's crowned as the king of the kicker hill. And now the last position of the video, we have the punters. Jake Camarda, Ryan Stonehouse, Jordan Stout, Mitch Wishnowsky, and Jake Bailey. The other Jake, Camarda, starts off at the top of the hill, and I believe he had the most speed. So, hey, it's his crown to lose. He should protect it if it's just about speed, but in his first battle, he ends up in a very close one. We had to go look at it from both sides, and you can see Ryan Stonehouse looking sober, healthy, and fast. He gets the W. Stonehouse, the new crown holder. Now he just has to protect it. First up, Jordan Stout. Gonna put up a very stout performance and take the crown from Ryan Stonehouse. So Camarda loses it. Then Stonehouse loses it. We have another case of the hot potatoes. Jordan Stout, the new crown holder, with only 2 punters left to defend it against Jake Bailey. Another Jake. What is with the guys that are called Jake? Why are they all so fast, man? Stout still gonna get the W though. Only 1 punter can defeat him. It's Mitch Wishnowsky up against Jordan Stout for the title of the king of the punter hill. And once again, you already know, back to the replay. Stout off to a good start, but not good enough. Mitch Wishnowsky gonna be crowned the winner of the punter hill. He gets the W, man. It was a tight finish, but he earned it, and he ends up on top of the punter hill. So here we are in the finals, and like I said, man, we have all of the fastest guys on a wheel, all 12 positions produced, 1 king. But now we have to see who's the king of all the kings. So our first matchup, or our first guy at the top of the hill, will be Keaton Mitchell, the running back, and his first opponent's gonna be Isaiah Simmons, the linebacker. If you're enjoying this video, you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? Come on, man. We are starting the finals. Great time to hit that subscribe button. Keaton versus Isaiah. This one's too close. Gonna have to go to replay. It looks like Keaton might have got it though. Here's number 81. Keaton Mitchell, yep, by a step. Gets to the 40 faster. He remains the king. Isaiah is gone. The very next spin ends up on Mitch Wishnowsky, the punter. Don't think this one's gonna be very close. Just a plain old mismatch, man. Wait a minute. Mitch is actually doing pretty well, but I think Keaton took that one. Keaton beats him with ease. However, Keaton now has to go up against Tyreek, the Cheetah Hill. Not only is he the fastest at 99 speed, he also has the best route running. Probably the best acceleration. So, yeah, it's his king of the hill to lose. Now, Keaton held his own, but I think Tyreek's gonna win this one pretty easily, man. To stay within 2-3 yards of him. Not too shabby of a performance by Keaton, but our new king is Tyreek Hill. Will anyone dethrone him? No, nigga! Up next, Lane Johnson, the offensive lineman. Now, he had a very close finish amongst his position, but yeah, that's not gonna last for long. Tyreek, he's already at the other 40. Before Lane reached this 40, we only have to go to the replay. We might have to for this matchup. Tyreek versus Lamar. Let's go, man. It's gonna be a good one. Both X Factors, both crazy speed. Lamar giving up 3 speeds, and you can see it, man. Tyreek, I think, won that pretty clearly. But hey, man, credit to Lamar. We at least have to go into the replay. Like, it wasn't too much of a blowout. Might be the closest we've seen. Tyreek just passes it. Lamar only a few yards behind. Good fight, but Mr. Hill remains at the top. The tough matchups keep coming for Tyreek, though. Now he has to go against Reek Woolen, 98 speed, tied for the second fastest speed in the video. And we saw the way he was operating against his position mates. Reek is nice. He has great acceleration. This could be a close one. Oh my goodness. I don't know. It's not clear. This, I think, is the best chance to get Tyreek off the top. Can he make it happen? Oh no. Tyreek has a step, a clear step. Reek about a yard or 2 behind. I think that was the best bet to dethrone Tyreek. Maybe Alberto can make something happen. He had 88 speed, 3 speed ratings less than the fastest tight end, Kyle Pitts, and he still won. So it's not all about speed, but Tyreek beats him with ease. Yeah, 11 speed ratings higher, and you see what ends up happening. Up next, the safety, Daxton Hill. Tyreek once again in a close close race. Look at Daxton, only a yard behind him. Credit to him for keeping it close. And now he's facing off against some layups, okay? Kaimi Fairbairn, the fastest kicker, but he's no match for Tyreek. I'm only showing it just because it's the finals. We got to. I mean, just look at that. No need for a replay. We know who won that one. Next up, Hunter Lipke, the fastest fullback. Is he any match for Tyreek Hill? Actually doing pretty well, man. Credit to him. You should be happy if you make Tyreek at least go to replay. Like, if it's not completely obvious, like, it's obvious, but not completely, okay? He held his own. Stay within 5 yards. But there's only one person left that can dethrone Tyreek and become the king of kings. It's the D lineman, Robert Beal Jr. He beat out Micah Parsons, even though Parsons had more speed. Can he do it to Tyreek Hill? Maybe Tyreek catches a cramp mid-route. Who knows? You never know. Actually, we do know. The king of kings, the fastest of the fastest, Tyreek the Cheetah Hill, the final player in the video to wear the crown. He is the fastest in the league. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Obliterate the like button. 1,000 likes for more King of the Hills. And I'll see you on the next